How are you doing, Dr. Trifkovic?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you very much. I'm in Moscow right now, and it's everything. It's fine. We have a lot of conferences here and meetings, diplomatic meetings, different. So a lot of work, but it's good. Thank you very much.
Yes, exactly. So it was important for me to find that because that was one of the things that called a lot of my attention. Your studies on terrorism
Yes.
and these we were just chatting 2 minutes ago. And that was a key point for me on this interview. Of course, I want to talk about St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, but when I saw that, this called my attention because you're Serbian and today you live between Belgrade and Moscow, where you teach and you also write articles, and you have two books that I'll have the names in the screen in the description as well. Uh, but we were talking about that because I was explaining who am I. I am an IT guy. I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to be a journalist. And as you saw, I'm not a great one as well. But at some point, I just got, completely angered about how these people mess with our lives. I was living in Brazil and they were messing with Brazil. And then I moved to Europe. We run away from the problems and then the problems follow us to Europe again. And this was what called me the attention. I mean, you graduated in engineering and then you went to studying terrorism and all that. Of course, being a Serbian, there should be a great reason for that. So, could we talk a little bit about that?
Yes, for sure. I will say at the beginning that I lead Center for Geostrategic Studies in Serbia, which is the big center. We have around 60 cooperators around the world in the Africa, Latin America, Europe, Russia. I mean, in China as well, India. So we have. It's very nice to have cooperators in different countries, and then you can speak with the people and realize what is happening. And I will say that you are a good journalist because if I compare you with these professional journalists who are really professional, if you watch them, but it's very problematic what they are doing because they are spreading disinformations, and this is not professional at all. So I researched this as well. So we started to speak about the motivation. Yes, I'm the engineer, and my dream was to become the engineer, and I like this very much because in engineering, as you know, everything is very in order. Everything is clear. It's not like philosophy. It can be, but it is to be or not to
I,
be, or something like this. And I like this precision and everything in order. But at the same time, I was involved in the policy from my 15s, from very young years. And I was also active in the political party. I was I was in Parliament. I was. I'm now in the so-called public diplomacy, yes, and
Mhm.
I'm now leading this NGO, independent NGO, Center for Geostrategic Studies. So I have these two parallel worlds. But my motivation, yes, we speak about why I started to research terrorism as well. Yes, I finished the master in the terrorism and organized crime in the Belgrade University. My motivation was, I said that from my 15th, I started to be interested in policy because in that time, we are speaking about early 19th in Yugoslavia, that was the former Yugoslavia. Then the problems started in my country. the demonstrations, some political problems, and before this, when I was in the basic school, in that time in Yugoslavia everything was in order, and in that time Yugoslavia was the America for America, but in one moment everything started to be very bad, and I wanted to know the reason why that started to happen. So this is why I started to research, and basically from internal side, I mean internal policy, and after this in the, I may say, global policy, because if you want to understand the reasons for wars, for economic problems in one country, then you need to understand the global management or global policy and international policy as well. So I wanted to know what is the reason, and I wanted to know the mechanisms, how some structures can control economy in other countries, how they control psychologically as well, and by medias, the society, how they can destroy one society and have a big influence, how they can organize special operations or the coups when they don't like some governments, and so on. So that was my motivation, and it was 30 years ago, and I can say that now I understand a lot. Especially that I have also a lot of knowledge in the technical science, and also in the strategic management, for example, which is very important to understand this everything.